Hello and good evening, good afternoon, I guess, everybody. We are live on location. Craft Beer Nation has packed it all up, and we're on the road in Charlottesville, Virginia tonight. We're here at Beer Run. This is Jay Campbell. He's the senior beer buyer, or the only beer buyer, I guess, maybe?
Yep.
So he's the beer guy here. This place does a fantastic job with craft beer. Behind me is about maybe a third of their stock. There's coolers. There's a whole European import section around the corner from here, and they do a great job. And we're here to talk about Sixpoint. Sixpoint is got a tap takeover, 6 handles or so here on tap tonight, and we're going to talk about the beer. We're going to introduce them. We've got Adrian Marquez here from Sixpoint, and just kind of talk a little about the beer, do a tap takeover kind of broadcast. So no pressure, anybody. Thanks for joining us, JJ.
Yep.
Tell us about Beer Run, where they came from, and what you do here.
Yep. In December of '07, Josh and John, two stepbrothers, started the place as kind of a concept to go retail section of beer. Then the architect, when they were doing the build out, said, "Let's have draft beer, because wouldn't you want to drink a draft beer while you bought a 6-pack?" And they said, "That's genius. Let's do that." So draft beer got introduced, and we now do breakfast, lunch, and dinner Monday through Saturday, brunch and dinner on Sunday. We offer 17 rotating drafts, mostly craft beer, but we do throw in the occasional cider, wine, kombucha, all these other kind of things that are now coming out in draft form. And but if you don't like what's on the 17 drafts, we got about 700 beers at any one time to choose from, and 300 are cold as of right now, but then the others we can ice down, no problem for you. And it's all about, hey, come out and buy something you know, buy something you don't know. So that way you leave home happy.
Well, and I got ahead of myself. I didn't introduce our panel here too. So we'll get to I got all flustered here. Being on location's got me all thrown off, and I'm on my way to starting the drinking here. Maybe I should have done that to calm down a little bit. But we are in Charlottesville. We're just down the road from University of Virginia, UVA. So a real college scene here. So you probably get a lot of the juniors and seniors that are old enough to drink come in here and drink the good stuff.
Well, it's one of those things that we're far enough removed from the college crowd, college area, that we get a lot more traffic from the faculty and staff at UVA, and that's kind of our bread and butter. When UVA has a holiday, we get a bunch of the faculty and staff out here, and it's great because we don't need a bouncer for that kind of crowd, and it's much more a family-oriented thing, and people that have good-paying jobs and are able to afford good beer, no problem, and that's kind of our demographic.
I guess the college crowd is probably a little more into the $10 12-packs than
Correct.
They are the $15 6-packs.
Correct.
So
now we are changing the tide. We did have a frat party order 14 cases of craft beer for their mixer just a month ago, so that was a pretty fun time selling them.
What did they get, though? They didn't get...
They got everything from Ballast Point Grapefruit Sculpin, New Belgium Fat Tire, Blue Mountain Full Nelson, Devil's Backbone Vienna, just across the board craft.
They've got more money than I did when I was a frat boy in college.
Correct.
5 years ago, too.
Yep.
So on our panel now that Lola is back inside where the power is good, we've got Lola Laracy from Jacksonville, Florida. Hi, Lola. And she's muted. There we go. We've got Linda Dean from Oregon. You're not in Portland, though.
South of Portland. I'm in Corvallis.
Corvallis, Oregon. We've got Ashley Bauer, who's actually on another location in South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina. And you're at Grapes and Gallery?
That's right, Grapes and Gallery.
Grapes and Gallery. And they've got some...
Establishment.
Yeah.
Yep, we've got some Sixpoint beer on tap as we speak.
Good. 6-point on tap as we speak. So Jay and I have before us one of 6-point's tap offerings tonight, and you're going to help me with it. It's barrel-aged Signal...
Smoke Signal IPA.
Smoke Signal IPA.
Yep, so it's basically an IPA that has some smoked malt. then aged 4 months in J.D. Willett's bourbon barrels. Adrian might be better to tell you here later in the broadcast about what kind of hops and malts that they did use. I mean, it does have that sort of pronounced like Bamberg smoked malt character to it, with a little bit of the kind of the bourbon barrel aging that sort of mellows that out, and it's not as intense as say a Scherlinkerla oaked beer.
Well, nothing is quite as intense as a.
That's true. That's true.
And actually, that's what we've got in the glass here. What do you remember? Would you remember what the ABV on this was? I don't.
Who's got a menu? Who's got a menu?
It isn't very hot. I don't.
No, it wasn't that high. I want to say it was like 6.5, somewhere in that area, but I'm not sure.
It is. I don't get as much smoke in the nose as you do with a. Oh, that's them chatting with each other.
Okay.
I don't get as much smoke with the German Rosh beers, but
yeah,
this is in the aroma, but in the taste, it's there.
Yeah,
it comes through nice. So the smoke and the hops.
I'm digging it. I think it's very well balanced.
I think that the balance is a good way because there's barrel character there as well too, but it is none of those really overpower any of the other.
Yep.
You get bitter, you get smoke, and you get barrel. So that's a win, and I think this is one of their mad fermentation things or something.
I believe so.
Sick liquids. I don't know. I forget.
It wasn't one of their sick liquids. That would be the Abigail or the Jammer that we have on.
It does go on.
I know you're a huge fan of the Jammer.
Big fan of the Jammer. Big fan of the Jammer. Yeah. So, and we also got a little treat here. Somebody who came to town is Jay sent a
bottle of the Ballast Point Indra Conundra, which is their Indian style export stout. Trish, the dish as I call her, who's just off camera to this way, marinated some chicken in that and then smoked it at one of the local barbecue places, and it's pretty awesome.
It is just flat out awesome, and we've talked our way through to it. Now it's a pile of bones over here.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We've screwed ourselves out of the good chicken. So, all right. Well, Ashley, are your guests nearby there that you could talk about their place while I switch out to Adrian here?
Yeah, if you want, I can call them over. Give me one moment.
Cool, thanks. I'm going to mute here. Well, actually, we'll talk a little bit more. Linda, what are you drinking? Do you guys get Sixpoint up in the Northwest?
I have not seen Sixpoint. It does not mean that it's not here, and I'm currently going through their website and some of the distribution points. I cheat because I can get some of that info to see if I can actually get Sixpoint, and if I can't, then I'll wind up bribing people because that smoked beer would be so lovely to try.
Well, I'd have to ship you some because I don't believe they're going to distribute this. This is a one-off. So barrel aged.
This is actually Calapooya. Calapooya's Boxcar Brown from here in Oregon. It's not quite like any brown that I've ever tasted. It's full of flavor. It's a kind of bordering on a porter with the texture of a stout.
Cool.
It's really nice.
Wow, really?
Lots of flavor.
I've got Anna here with Grapes and Gallery. Hey, how are y'all doing?
Hi, Anna. Great.
So
all right, Ashley, take us
we got
through it.
Sixpoint here about 4 weeks ago now?
Yes, about 4 weeks. We're loving it.
Good. Yeah, we've got a rep who's coming on from Sixpoint here in a bit. I'm drinking resin right now. It's awesome. Linda, have you had resin?
No, I haven't had any yet. I'm brand new to Sixpoint, but I'm definitely getting amped up.
Lola, have you had resin?
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I've had resin and a few of the others. I like it a lot.
And you got resin on tap here, right?
I do. We love the resin.
Yeah, resin's been fantastic. You also had Sweet Action, Crisp, and
I think that's all we have right now. Sweet Action, Crisp, and the resin. Waiting on the other ones to come in.
Sweet.
Yeah, the Pilsner is going really well.
Good. Yeah, the Crisp is one of my favorite. Have you had that one, Lola?
No, but wait. I've had Sweet Action. I remember that.
It's always fun to say. Well, if you tell them a little bit about your place.
Sure. Okay. So we have a wine bar and paint studio. So we teach people how to paint in the back. They're doing some painting sessions right now, and then we have the craft beer and wine up front. So we have 2 beers on draft, and one is the Sixpoint resin. So we're just teaching people about art, craft beer, wine, anything that we can. So.
And you've done some paintings that are beer related, right?
Mm-hmm. We did a hops painting. We were told that the hops were a little different than our painting, but we made them the way they were supposed to be. We got it figured out. So.
Cool.
Yeah, we're looking forward to doing some of the beer labels as our paintings as well.
That's
going
gonna
to be fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, so there's a lot of cool beer labels out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool.
It seems like the combination of art and drinking beer and wine seems to be getting much bigger in America. We have a brand new store that opened up that does the same thing, and the classes are packed throughout the week.
Definitely. Yeah,
Really,
we really
great,
enjoy
great
it.
idea.
I think if I were drinking and trying to do art, it would have to be finger painting.
We introduced that last week, actually, the finger painting.
I would love that. I'd just be all, and it'd sell for $1 million.
Probably.
That's really cool. So they've got a nice 6-point rep here, talking to Matt. They're about to come on live. They're kind of talking about things. But Shane from 6-point was supposed to be here with us tonight, but he had some Wi-Fi issues, so he wasn't able to join us, unfortunately. And then we've got a fellow named Simon Martin that was supposed to join us tonight. Hopefully he'll come. He's a beer blogger, video blogger on YouTube out of the UK.
Wow, okay. Nice.
So, yeah. Well, those fellas look like they're talking quite a bit.
Yeah.
Lola, what's new with you?
What?
What's new with you?
I'm happy it's Friday. I am drinking some Mikkeller. I found a new bottle shop on the other side of the river, and I spent $80, so I got this. And you know, I'm particular about IPAs. I think it just depends on the hops. I'm particular about certain hops, and this is fabulous. So Simcoe's a hop, right?
Yeah, Simcoe's a hop.
Yeah. So I apparently like Simcoe because this is really good.
Simcoe's one of my favorites too.
Yeah. So I guess this is a good twin, right? I don't know. Mikkeller, is he the good?
Mikkeller is usually how I say it. I could be wrong there.
I don't know how to say it. How do you say it?
Mikkeller.
Mikkeller might be right. That's probably right. We'll say Mikkeller.
One of us, we're probably both wrong. Let's just be honest.
I know. I don't even know what language it is, so I'm not going to pretend to know.
So, cool. Hi, Gil. How are you tonight?
Hey, Gil.
Uh-oh.
I'm not sure if we can hear you, Gil.
Thank you, Gil. So, anyway, we had 6-point Jammer here in Columbia about 3 weeks ago, and it's pretty much come and gone. Sold out like crazy.
The Amber?
Goes in South Carolina is pretty popular, so.
Yeah, I was excited when I first saw 6-point here. I've only found it at one bottle shop, and every time I go, I have to get several, and I just love them.
Oh, right. So actually, we're taking care of some business here, and you probably saw me doing some shopping back here too. So I'm not kidding. The 700 beers that they have here are all delicious ones. This isn't, I don't think they've got Blue Moon in the cooler here. So this is a legit establishment. So I've got. Are we done with your friend there? Actually, I didn't want to interrupt. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I know she wants to meet this gentleman standing beside you. So please.
Yeah, this is Adrian Marquez. He is the Virginia, Maryland, D.C. rep for 6-point.
How's it going?
Hello.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
I hear you are a fine purveyor of quality beer.
Yes, definitely. We love good beer.
Yeah, and so Adrian is pretty new with 6-point. Been there about a year or something like that, right?
I started with them in January, but I actually have been involved in one way or another since before the inception.
Oh yeah.
I've known Shane, the original brewmeister, since about '99. So we go quite a ways back.
Well, cool. Well, Adrian is a regional guy, so he's down here tonight, kind of hosting this party. all I know is he's got the tab open, so I just walk up and say, put this on Adrian's, and that's kind of how I'm gonna get. That's how I'm gonna get there tonight. So.
Lucky.
Yeah. It is, yeah. And oh look, Gil joined us from his establishment there. He's on traveling again too.
Mr. Melly Mel.
That's funny. Adrian said, "Is Gil coming tonight?" So Gil's a celebrity now. So.
Everyone knows Gil.
Everyone
Unfortunately, we can't
knows
hear him. We know him, but we can't hear
Oh,
him.
we can see him, but we can't hear him. What Adrian and I have here now is we have the Abigail, and this is one of the Sick Liquid line, right? This is.
It is.
So this was a canned release. Have you had this one? Do you have this one in South Carolina?
We were lucky enough to get it at Revival this year.
At Revival, all right.
When you guys know about Revival.
I picked up a sixer of it at some point. I've got it at the house, but I have not tasted it yet. So this is a new brew here to me tonight. Tell me about it a little bit, Adrian. What are we expecting here with Abigail?
You know, this is a Belgian-based beer, but it wasn't quite a Dubel or a Tripel. Just a Belgian beer with a lot of American hops in it. And I think you might pick up on a little bit of those hops.
Yeah, it's hoppy. That's for sure.
Of course, as everyone here knows, Sixpoint tends to do the hoppier styles.
Yeah, that's kind of a trademark for them. So it definitely is. There's Belgian yeast quality there. It's a clean beer. It's sometimes when I taste something Belgian, I'm expecting sweet. But I don't get much of the sweet. I get hop and a little more hop. So this is there's the Belgian qualities, but it's really backed by a bunch of American hops, just like you described it. It's light though. What's the ABV on that guy?
I want to say that's like a 6.8, so it's not super up there.
Yeah. It's not as overpowering on the taste buds as that smoked barrel aged IPA. It's definitely, I say it's really hoppy, but it's much more gentle than that. This is the kind of beer you could drink 4 or 5 of, I think.
Yes, and I actually have.
Not tonight, but in the past. I mean, the night is young, I guess, still. So, Ashley, what are you drinking? Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Linda.
I wanted to ask, how well would that beer stand up to something like, say, a blackened swordfish?
Something really spicy, huh?
Yeah. Would it stand up to something like that, or?
Swordfish.
How would it do with the hot food, the spicy food?
Actually, I think this will probably go pretty well with like a blackened fish of some sort. Yeah,
I actually, Linda, I like to pair hops with spice because I think it accentuates them, and I think this beer would do a really nice job with that. There's enough bitter, enough hop to it to bring out the flavors, but it wouldn't drown it out.
Oh, that sounds great.
I wouldn't want like a what was that Green Flash thing, that big triple IPA that was so bitter you couldn't look at it. Green Bullet. I wouldn't want a Green Bullet with something spicy, but I think this would stand up well to it. I think we need to get some. We had smoked chicken. Now we need to get some blackened swordfish in here tonight. So
might be a little hard to come by.
Yeah.
Far from the coast. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Virginia, we got coastal waters here, so.
Just be mindful of people who are eating leftovers tonight.
Yes, I can definitely say it does pair well with some leftovers.
Yeah, and Beer Run, actually, these folks here have a pretty solid menu, too. They've got lots of fresh ingredient kind of food, too. So now I'm getting hungry, so fat guy's got to eat. So.
Yeah, if anybody has an opportunity to get into this area, you've got to stop and check out this place. The menu is great for food. The curation of the beers is excellent. Jay, as you guys met earlier, just does an awesome job, and he's the kind of character you want to stop and talk to while you're in town here.
Doug Nolan is a huge UVA fan. He's another one of our group, and he lives in Roanoke. And I should have sent him over to your events this week, I should have done. But he comes up here to a game a couple times a year, and he'll leave in the fourth quarter just so we can get over here and get it 40s, and everybody comes over. So he's like, beer run at 4:30 or whatever. He knows just what he's doing. What do you guys? Gil,
I lost my 6 point at the gate today.
Oh yeah, you want me to tell that story, Gil?
Sure.
Gil was going into Disney World today and wasn't sure if he was going to be able to make the show tonight, so he wanted to take a picture of high res in were you going into Epcot today, Gil?
Yeah.
Into Epcot.
Epcot.
So he stuck a high res down in the bottom of his wife's bag, and they caught it and took it,
no.
confiscated it. So
Did they give you the option to shotgun it or anything like before you went in?
yeah, 9:30 in the morning with your daughter. Hang on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some,
Yeah. So somewhere-
some Epcot guard somewhere is having a really great afternoon.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Gil he likes to share the good beer.
Gil, was that?
I do love me some resin.
And resin's on tap here tonight too, so that might be my next beer.
I think you should go there.
Yeah.
Gil, was that actually your last high res for the year, or do you have some backups?
No, I have high res. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, we don't run out of high res. We try to keep supplied.
I was going to be surprised if you were to risk the last of it.
No.
He took a lot of beer with him. He's showing pictures in Florida of beers you can't get there, so he's the beer traveling guy. So, Ashley, did you guys talk about what you two are drinking tonight?
Yeah, the resin.
Right? Yeah, the 6 Point resin, that's what we have on tap right now. We're loving it.
Oh, cool. I didn't know if you were talking about it while I had my headphones off, so I wanted to make sure you got to that. And Lola, do you have a beer?
Yeah, I already drank it, but it's not 6 Point. I'm sorry. I haven't gone to Total Wine in a while. In the bottle shop I went to didn't have any 6 Point.
You're just having that kind of night, Lola.
It's Friday and I'm gonna get drunk because we got a show later.
Yeah, at 10 o'clock tonight we have the Saison show, the Friday Night Craft Beer Hangout, so that'll be farmhouse ales at 10 o'clock. So pace yourself, Lola. You got to pace yourself.
I spent $70 on beer. Y'all are going to have fun when I show you how much I paid for some of the beer. You're going to have to let me know how much I overpaid. I paid $25 for a bomber. It was Great Divide. I forgot which one.
You paid how much for the bomber?
$25.
Yeah.
I think I'm having a heart attack.
Yeah. They see you walk in the store, they're like, "Oh, Jack, the price is up. Here she comes."
Did they air mail that to you from Denver?
No, I actually had to
delivered that sucker.
No, I actually had to bring it from the store to the car in a box. All the beer I bought. So, but I'd heard somebody talk about it, and they said it was good. I'd never seen it before. Now I can't remember what kind.
Maybe like a barrel-aged Yeti or something like that?
It wasn't Yeti, but it was barrel-aged. It was a whiskey beer. Barrel-aged.
Yeah, it better have gold flakes in it for $25.
I was actually living out in Denver before I moved here for Sixpoint, and had a good deal of Great Divide out there. They make some solid stuff.
You're allowed to say that.
Divide, 2 weeks ago. I visited Great Divide 2 weeks ago.
And what did you think of it?
Well, I go there every year. Great Divide is one of my favorite breweries.
Yeah,
Cool.
I dig them too. So we talked about beer run. I wasn't listening, so I guess you'll have to just try not to repeat the things I'm going to ask you. But Sixpoint is really just new in South Carolina. How's it doing there at the Grapes and Gallery?
We have people that really like it. They always like to try new stuff, and the Pilsner is going up really well. They're high res. I'm not high res. That's what we hope to have sometime. But the resin is amazing. People can only have like one or two, but they love it.
Yeah, that does kind of hurt. Those high ABV beers, you don't get to sell as many because people start falling off the stools after 2 and 3. So yeah,
The paint brushes fall and everything.
You don't want them getting rowdy at the art gallery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So you just have resin on tap. How many taps do you have there?
We just have 2. We're pretty small, but we do have the Sweet Action and the Crisp ingredients. So flying through those.
Well, I will say if you stick with us, we do have a lot of nice surprises coming up even throughout the rest of this year. There's a lot of things coming down the pipeline, so if you're carrying those products on a regular basis, you're going to have first dibs on some of these things as they come out.
Well, you've got 100% of their tap handles right now. You really can't ask for much more than that. So, I mean, that ought to qualify for something special, right? So.
Yes.
Hey, Adrian, I usually ask this question of almost every single brewery. What's your most adventurous brew, either in the past or that you would really love to make?
As far as From Sixpoint or personally?
From Sixpoint.
You know, the one thing that I actually had an opportunity to drink earlier this year in March was a 10-year Bolshoi. Bolshoi was one of these stouts that we were making and bottling back in 2005. And my buddy, who also lives up in New York, just happened to have 4 bottles of it in his refrigerator. And we cracked that baby open, and it was amazing. But as far as something that I think is the most unique, we did a few of those barrel-aged. And although I haven't had a chance to taste the barrel-aged, I would say that's probably the furthest we've gone out. That was, of course, well before the BA beers became a huge thing.
That sounds pretty amazing.
Yeah, I wish I could actually show you the bottle of this stuff. It's the Bolshoi, and the label on it was beautiful. All very Russian-looking kind of lettering across the label, and wax seal on the top, and all that.
Obviously, a lot of time and effort and care went into it.
Yes, and they're still out there around today. Not just my friend, but I see random images of them popping up on Beer Advocate here and there. So people have held on to them for a while.
Cool.
Fabulous.
Talk to Adrian again for a minute. Ask him some softball questions because he's drinking kind of heavily here now, and I'm nervous about him. So
I don't know
ask
anything about softball. I haven't played softball since middle school.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm going to talk to Jay for a second, so I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, I have a question. So, I know you've only been with the company since January, but you had 3 Bean, right?
Yes, I had a good deal with 3 Bean.
I do love me some 3 Bean.
I've had that one. I do love 3 Bean.
Has anybody had a chance to try the barrel-aged 3 Bean?
No,
I would love to.
That was a brewery only, right?
Something that.
They only.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Sorry, Gil. What was that, Gil?
I was saying, was that the one? That was a brewery only, right? They didn't have any release on that.
It was out in 20 liters. Not very many of them, but there were a few that did go out.
Come on this way, Sean.
We need some kind of network. We just need to be able to send these beers to each other. Automatic shipments. We need that.
Florida, right?
Yes, Florida.
So our guy Caesar down there, he is absolutely killing it for us down there, and some of these limited drafts out of Red Hook, Brooklyn. So be on the lookout for Sixpoint events in Florida, because that's where you're going to get an opportunity to taste some of these more limited drafts.
Okay, I will.
So do they ever talk about doing another project like the 3 Beans, like a or on that, like chocolate and coffee, or repeat the 3 Beans at least? Do you know anything?
There has been a huge amount of call for that ever since we initially did that. There's an outcry on the Beer Advocate threads and stuff, and without giving too much away, I would say keep your ears peeled, because you might get some good news soon, Gil.
Awesome. I still have 2 cans of 3 Beans. I just can't take myself to open them. Probably
guys,
going to waste by now.
No, they'll still be good.
All right. We've actually got a patron from the bar here who's sitting at the end of the bar, knows a little bit about beer. His name is Sean Nelson, and we're gonna bring him in here, and he's gonna have a tasting. He's gonna taste resin and describe it in an artistic and clever way. You're gonna stay in with him. I'm gonna give him my headset. So so here comes Sean Nelson with resin. And that was a cue for Ashley or one of you guys to take him through it.
I thought you were gonna do it. Well, I can't see your screen, Matt. For some reason, your screen's blank. So
He'll come back. He'll be here soon.
Yeah.
Resin's a delightful thing.
Ashley,
No,
do you want to
is
take
that
the
your-
lead on this?
Is that the first time you're drinking high res?
Not high res, Gil, resin.
Oh, he's bringing resin. Okay.
Fresh off the tap, I must say. Hello, how are you?
Hey, how are you doing?
Great. Thanks for joining us. I love your shirt.
Oh, thank you so much.
So you're going to be drinking some resin and telling us all about it, right?
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right. Go ahead and start, and I'll fill in if I need to.
We're all waiting.
First impression.
All right, so
First
On
impression.
bated breath.
What does he think? What does he think? Does he like it? Does he hate it?
what does I think? Oh, I love it. I'm certainly no stranger to the resin.
All righty then.
Tell us about the aroma.
The aroma. Very, very citrus forward.
Any sort of malt character?
I'm getting a lot of the zest, the citrus zest. It's predominantly what I'm picking up on.
Anything from the malt?
Subdued, if anything. It's predominantly the hop aromas.
Okay. Well, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Are you getting any kind of piney?
On my nose, not so much. It's predominantly a very fruity.
Okay. Interesting. Spices of any sort?
Maybe a little,
Okay.
but yeah, predominantly a very zesty.
Good.
Piney, resiny, zesty, citrusy. That's typically the terms I use to describe the hop character. For the malt character, I usually get a little bit of caramel, just a touch, not super sweet, but it's there. The malt and the hop in this particular beer, balance themselves really well. I don't know. Do you have any comment on the malt?
I mean, the balance is certainly in there. It's quite, again, though, as far as the aroma goes, it's very hop forward. It's certainly not one of those beers where you're being assaulted on the aroma, but predominantly the hops.
Cool. What about the carbonation levels? Tell us about that.
Carbonation?
Did you say carbonation, Ashley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't see anything, so how much of a head do you get?
Let's see if we can. I mean, it's considering the glass we have, it's appropriate. We've got a little bit of lacing going around the side. The mouthfeel is nice and full. It's it's not cloying. It's not thick. It's about right, really. Carbonation is on point, just enough to give you that little sting on the palate right at the tip of the tongue, and then it smooths out as it goes down, and the finish is lovely.
I'm always interested in, because as I'm out in the market, I'm getting a variety of feedback from people, and I'm always interested to hear what people think about the heat on it. As a 9.5 double IPA, does the heat strike you? Do you feel like you're drinking, if you had to guess, if you didn't know it was a 9.5, would you guess it was, or would you think it was more or less?
That's a good question.
Most of my clients, they can't. Yeah, they really can't tell. Most of my clients, they can't tell. They're really shocked by the alcohol.
And actually, I'd be interested in feedback from anyone here in regards to that.
I think I would agree with what they were just saying, that it seems quite smooth to me. It doesn't have that heavy alcohol pepperiness. There's not a burn as you're finishing up. It's quite smooth. It's quite flavorful. It's not being overpowered by alcohol.
I myself find it very balanced that way.
The
Yeah.
alcohol is very integrated.
That is a good word.
I was an English major.
The one thing I really enjoy about it is it does have that bit of malt backbone to it. So I've had a lot of people taste it. I did an event, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago now, and the people were like, I hate IPA, and I'm like, well, just give this a shot. And so they did, and I'd say at least 2/3 of those people really enjoyed resin. So it's great because it has that balance to it. It's not just this aggressive hop punch. And the hops are there, don't get me wrong, but it's balanced. It's not in-your-face hops.
And I agree.
Well, I
Like
think
said,
I think it's a little typical for the East Coast IPAs that has more of a malt backbone to it, and I think resin follows that, which to me is pleasant. It's like Ashley said, you have very tiny sweetness in the back, not much that balance the hop very well, so you don't feel so warm, so hot when you're drinking it.
yeah.
Well, do you have any more comments over there about the beer you're drinking?
Outside of being fantastic, I think that's about it.
Oh, I have to actually ask. It's Sean, right?
Yes.
I have to ask. Have you had a chance to try our high res?
The high res I have.
Okay, and just out of what you remember, what were your feelings about that beer?
Oh my goodness. I almost need to try it again to be able to tell you. But anything to date that I've had from Sixpoint has been on point. I mean, it used to be a treat when I would go to New Jersey and head up to the shore. And it was a year or two before I was able to get it here in Virginia. So I'm actually quite happy to see it here now and hope to continue.
Excellent. Spot on answer. I like it.
We've got traveled people here. Someone goes from Virginia to New Jersey. Now we have Bill from Pennsylvania to Florida. We're just all over the place.
Yeah. Very true.
You gotta love living in the future.
I just got my second one. Check out the head retention on this thing. Isn't it gorgeous?
Was that a hard pour or was that relatively casual?
It's a hard pour. Relatively
Okay.
casual. It's pretty casual. Casual.
Okay. Yeah, I find that the head retention on a good deal of our beers is it's almost always there. I rarely crack a can or have a draft that doesn't have solid lacing and good head retention on it.
Well, I'm not Sean. I couldn't. I'm out of voice range here, so I couldn't really hear. I got talking to Trish the Dish, who made this unbelievable smoked chicken. So
It is good, isn't it?
So I had myself a little resin and eating some smoked chicken here for a second. So you work Sean over. He looks tired and beaten. So
That's
So-
what we do.
Sorry about that. I was abusive.
you were. That's Ashley, man. She's so hard on people.
We didn't get to say a proper goodbye, but thanks, Sean, very much for coming on and
Yeah.
Thank
giving
you,
us your.
Sean.
I tell you what, I'll pick up
Thoughts?
that beer that he just drank. So
You'll pick it up and finish drinking it?
he did. He's gonna work on. He's working on Abigail too. So he's double fisting it right now.
Oh, all right. That's the way to do it.
And they saved his seat at the bar too, so that was good. He didn't lose his seat for talking to us.
Awesome.
Otherwise, he would hate us, and we don't want him to hate us.
Yeah. All right. Well, do we have other questions for Adrian? We're going on 45 minutes here, so we'll turn this thing down and wind down a little bit. But having a 6-point rep standing here is always good to. Have you guys asked him the what's next questions? No. All right.
Kind of.
Oh yeah. So what's the next sick liquid? I mean we're on Jammer here now, but what beast mode, high res? What's coming out here next? Is it another release or is it something new?
We're actually going to do a second run of the Jammer. It was such a popular, everybody seemed to love that beer. Very popular beer. Again, you're going to maintain your professionalism here.
It's when you get a Goza compared to what South Carolina does there with Westbrook, you're expecting the high acidity, but the Jammer has got some nice qualities to it. It's coriander forward, but it's just not what we. It's kind of a shame because we had a Goza off last summer, We got together, Ashley, Gill, myself, and a few others, and we drank 5 gozas. We juried them. They, blind tasting, and we all liked. Right, and it seemed like the tartar they were, the higher we rated them. Okay. So yeah, so the Jammer is certainly not a high acid beer, but it's pleasant, it's light, it's a good summertime beer for sure.
It's our take on the traditional Goza, German style Goza.
Yeah, which is kind of 6 points mark, is to go back and find something traditional and be damned to what everybody else is doing. We're going to do what we want.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because we flipped the approach on this one, where a lot of times we'll, American hop out a Belgian beer, which is different, and in this case we decided to go back to the roots, which, I think it was kind of nice that we did that.
Well, if you're going to do another run of it, it's working.
Yeah, and a lot of people responded well.
Wasn't there some inspiration on this beer from a previous brewmaster that worked there? I think I read something like that in the sell sheet. You know what I'm talking about, Paul?
Yes, you did read that sell sheet, yes. There's a little story on there about how they had to pick up our brewmeister, Jan, I believe was his name.
Mm-hmm.
Picked him up in some sweltering heat, and he said, you need to get one of these Gozas and chill out, relax yourself.
Yeah, and I love the name on it too, because we've had Shane on a few Hangouts. He couldn't make it tonight because of Wi-Fi access, but we've had him on a few Hangouts, and Jammer's kind of his go-to word, Hey guys, let me pour you a little bit of this little Jammer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of his.
And of course, we did the file under J, because if it's a Jammer, you got to file that under J.
You got to file that under J.
So it looks like my distribution points are saying we don't get 6 point here. So tell me, Adrian, what do you think I should ask for first? Which beer out of all of them should I really push to get in the stores here?
Well, I think Matt said that you were in Portland now. Is that correct?
We're south of Portland.
Corvallis.
We're Corvallis.
Okay, how far south of Portland is that?
Let's see, about 2 hours.
Too far to drive, I'm taking.
Yeah, it's pretty much too far to drive for me, and I don't have a car.
we recently, started distributing in Portland, and so we've got, we're at all the Whole Foods there. We're in the Belmont Station. They tap us regularly at the Horse Brass Pub. So we're out throughout that whole area.
So your next trip to Portland, Linda, just look them up.
Linda, if it were me, I'd start looking into Greyhounds.
Greyhounds.
Get up there, spend the day.
Yeah.
A yearly ticket with Amtrak. Yeah.
Okay, do it. That's what I would do.
It's 6 point time.
Exactly.
I tell you what, if you go into the place and you're only going to have one beer, everybody's got their own opinion, but for me it's Resin. I think Resin is just a beautifully crafted beer. They're all well crafted, but Resin to me just stands out as my favorite. And that's not just my favorite 6 point beer. That's probably high on my list of favorite beers across the board. It's just fantastically well built. And I think Charles Dunkley, who's not here tonight, would agree. That guy, he mainlines 6 point Resin. I mean, if it's not in his fridge, he starts to get the shakes.
I've actually heard of people doing that.
Here's cheers to Charles. So
yeah, and if you're not huge on the the bigger beers, and you want to say you are in Portland and you want to grab a case of something that you can put back and keep for a while, my go-to, because of the little bit lower ABV, is the Bengali. I think the Bengali is a dynamite American IPA.
Now it's been rebranded, right? It used to be the Bengali Tiger.
That's correct. Yeah.
And now they just call it Bengali.
No, it's just Bengali. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good stuff too. Do you guys have a session IPA on the way?
Yeah, that is something that's going to come out later. As far as beers coming up, it's not the next one that's going to come out, but right around September we are going to do the second year of the Sensi Harvest, which is the
fresh hop ale.
Yeah, the wet hop. We fly them in from Yakima Valley, brew with them. I think last year we were able to brew with them inside of a 24-hour period. So we have everything ready to mash in, and everything is all synced up. So they come flying in, and
I like that beer. I had a couple 6-packs of that.
God, how I love fresh hop beers.
So hang on. So you said that's not the next beer. So what's the next beer?
Well, I had mentioned to these guys, you weren't actually able to hear because you were eating the smoked chicken,
Which
here,
I've crushed.
which is now gone.
Yeah, it's a bone pile there. Yeah.
But I was mentioning to Gil to go ahead and keep his ears peeled for the next one upcoming. He was talking about Three Beans.
I think it's an incremental improvement.
What's going to happen there, and there's never guarantees in the beer industry, as you know.
No, but I think we take some credit for this because we told Shane Welch in one of our hangouts with him, if you do another beer, it has to be 4 beans. I mean, you've got to just add some, so yeah.
So if you guys had a 4th bean to add, as you know, the 3 beans had the Romano. A lot of people said, that's not a bean. Never heard of that bean.
Yeah, but it's body, man. It was good.
But it is, and it's been used in brewing for a long time, so if you had a 4th bean to add to something like the 3 beans, Gil, what bean would you choose? Are you thinking Pinto? Are you thinking kidney?
So it was cocoa, coffee, and Romano. It needs a little.
Romano,
I think it needs a little. I think it needs a little of that long, skinny vanilla bean. That's what I would. Add vanilla.
I thought about that.
Coffee and vanilla. Yeah, that should work.
Chili bean, maybe a chili bean, spice it up.
Oh, I thought you said jelly bean.
Jelly bean, yeah, you could put a Jelly Belly in there, cross promotion with the Cisco company.
I'm soaking all this in.
Yeah,
because you got my weekly phone call on Monday.
I mean, this one's probably on its way to the can, but you're thinking about 5 beans next year. You've got opportunities to add something in there. So
exactly, this is great marketing right here.
Yeah.
Market research.
Yeah. That's what we call it. So. All right, well, why don't we wrap things up? We'll let Adrian get back to doing what he does best, and that's talking about Sixpoint to the folks standing right here around us. It's a pretty nice crowd, and like I said, you guys can see this behind me, right? So, Gil...
Can we flip the camera and give him a view of kind of...
We can. I'm going to have to walk around to do that. So let me just say this. Gil will absolutely be very upset because this place is probably the best priced craft beer in Central Virginia. They buy in bulk and sell on the lower end of the retail spectrum. So Gil lives in Pennsylvania where they tax everything exceptionally. Well, you're in Maryland, so you know. I mean, you can add $2. You can add $2 to a 6-pack to whatever I pay in Virginia to Pennsylvania beer. So yeah, Gil.
What pack of resin go for there, Matt?
You know what? I don't see the resin on the shelf here. The one it's in
Arms. It's over here on $12.99 for the 6-pack.
For the 6-pack, so that used to be a 4-pack. Now it's a 6-pack. This is we talked to 21st Amendment. This is their Down to Earth. You guys remember talking about that? The monkey comes down to Earth. It was in space on their Bitter American.
Yep,
this is $10. It's $9.99 a 6er. So, all right. Enough about the 21st Amendment pitch. I mean, we don't have them on the show tonight. So, all right. Let me talk to Adrian, and he's going to walk you through as I turn the camera around.
Well, I want to, without a doubt, much appreciation for taking your time on a Friday evening to join in and talk about some beers.
Oh, Adrian, there is nothing better we like on a Friday than to talk about beer.
Well, drinking beer. We like that. Drinking beer is our #1 activity.
Oh, look at the bar.
So, yeah, so you can see there, I don't know if you can see the cooler doors on the side there, but they have got a full wall of cold beer here.
Yeah,
and it's just a great selection of cold options.
This place really was built to go. I mean, Beer Run is their name. So, but the bar area here, the crowd. This is between their dinner crowd and their later night crowd. So Jay said this was a perfect time to come down. But beyond the bar is probably 10 tables for dining. Outside, there's dining on a patio, and I mean, this place is really great.
Yeah, the patio space is at least as big as it is in here. So kind of doubles the size.
And I don't think you mentioned on the air, Matt, but can you tell them a little bit about the thing coming up this fall that's related to Beer Run?
Oh, you know what? Jay is not here, so I can't speak too much to it. But the folks who own this Beer Run are opening another place that's a little more restaurant focused, I believe. It's not as bottle shoppy. I mean, this place is like, what's that place? The Charleston Beer Exchange you guys are crazy about?
Yes.
Yeah, this place is like that. This is what you can't see is a whole wall of bombers directly behind the camera, and so this place is bottles with a bar and a restaurant that makes really nice food. But they're going to do a place that's more food centric here in Charlottesville as well too. So a restaurant with taps instead of a bottle shop with food. Yeah. So I mean, this is a great era to be a bottle shop owner, especially if you're doing it right like these guys are. So. All right. Well, I think that probably is we're going to call it a show. This has been a tap takeover, I think is what we're calling it, because it really isn't a Pints and Quarts. It's not really that kind of stuff. So, but we are Craft Beer Nation. Pints and Quarts is our interview show Thursday night. We had David Walker. Go to YouTube and find that. We had him last week. That was a great show. Next week we are at Savor in D.C. Friday night. We have Denizens, which is a great little new brew pub. I think they're only a year and a half old in Silver Spring, Maryland on Saturday. And I can't even remember the lineup of guests we have coming the weeks after. But Pines and Quarts is our show on Thursday night. Friday night Hangout is in just a few hours. We're going to do Saison and Farmhouse Ales tonight at 10 p.m. And you'll always see Ashley Bauer here once a month. She's going to do a show called Mashing Out, which is homebrew information. So she's our certified Cicerone. Took that crazy test and passed it. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and we will see you again on the next installment of Something Fun from Craft Beer Nation.
Thank you, everybody.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Thank you.